So, Jeri, how did you find your current publisher for the 3 novellas?
Well, it's kind of a story in itself because Outspoken Love, this one was actually written to be part of an anthology on the topic of suffrage, the suffrage movement, suffragette brides. And we put in a proposal with Barber Publishing for that. They've done many series of brides books over the years, and Darlene has several now with them. But at the point that we put in the proposal, I didn't have the story done, but she encouraged me to go ahead and write it because I was the new person in the group of writers, and so I didn't really know how long it was going to take me. And so that was a good thing to do. But what happened was, like so many publishing companies, they made some major changes, and they put a pause on all their bride collections. And so our proposal was languishing for about 3 years, I think.
It was a long time.
Yeah, and so... and I had the story done, and I had it polished, and it was ready to go. And so anyway, Darlene encouraged me to go ahead and try to find a different publisher for it, because all we were hearing was like crickets, it's just very quiet. And anyway, so because it was a novella, that was a different challenge, because not all publishers will take novellas. They want them a longer length. And so Winged Publications was honestly, I think it was the only one I found that would take a shorter length story. Yeah. And so I put a proposal together and sent that to her, and Cynthia Hickey is the editor and publisher, and it's a small press. And I heard back right away. But what she said is this a standalone book? Or is this a series?
Yeah.
Or could it be a series? Series sell better than standalones. And I'm going, oh my goodness.
Right. She called me up, and she's like, what do I do? And it's like, make it a series. Come up with 2 other story ideas really fast.
Yeah. And thankfully, my characters in my first story, I really liked my characters, and I could see where they had room to grow, and I could take the side characters and give them a story of their own. And so I emailed back and said, this could be a series. Right. I could do this.
We could do this.
And so then I got the contract, and so then she wanted to know if I could get them done within all 3 within a year. And I'm like, I'm not sure about that. But the first one was ready to go, and so that was not an issue. The second one, I had that fleshed out really well, and Darlene and I brainstormed and made that a more detailed. I had a better idea going in what I was going to do with that one, and so it only took me 4 months for that one. So that was a record time for me, and but then the third one was supposed to be done like the end of December. Last year, and that was only like 4 months and into the holidays, and needing somebody to edit and do these other things, that was hard. And I tried to do it, but what happened was I felt so rushed that I didn't flesh out the story well enough for that one. And so, I at the time that I was talking with my publisher, and I was saying, so is there some wiggle room in the deadline? And she said yes. And so, it wasn't just the holidays, but I ended up sick a couple of times. And so anyway, it ended up taking 8 months to do that story. And it wasn't until I knew something was off, but it wasn't until having someone else read it. It was Darlene that did the editing, and she saw what I couldn't see because I was too close to it, and that I had not done nearly as much with the subplots and the characters that needed to surround the main characters. And so, it meant going back and doing a lot of rewrites, but I was much happier with the finished
It was
product.
a much stronger story in the end.
Yes. So I did not want to put in something that I could not feel good about,
Right.
So anyway. But
So emotionally wise, we're struggling so much to learn the craft of writing, and we have that dream in our heads of having a published book that we hold in our hands for so long. It's the ultimate dream. How did it feel to finally get that 3 novella contract?
It feels
and
great.
hold your books in your hands. And I know a lot of authors online on social media, it's like they have the opening of the box and seeing the print copies for the first time, and it doesn't get old. Every time you open that box and hold up your copies, and it's like, this is my book, because we put so much time and energy and emotion into writing these stories, and it takes a long time. It's not an easy feat. And then it's like the final culmination of such a long time of writing and dreaming and struggling to get the stories down. And so just how is that rush?
It's our babies, and protecting our babies and stuff. So it takes a while, especially like if you're just starting to write, to be able to tell yourself, I'm a writer. I'm a writer, and tell yourself that, and get used to the idea that, yes, if you're writing, you're a writer.
You're a writer.
Yeah. And so to be published, lots of times, I've had people walk up to me and talk to me that I didn't even know that they knew that I was writing. And I've had people in my church that have gone and gotten my books, and I didn't know that they were reading them, and so it's a really good feeling. And then to have the feedback from them, and that they were encouraged by the story, and to learn about it. And just one quick little story. There's this older lady in our church who has been on the missions committee forever, and she usually reads mission-related stories. It's a biography or something like that. And she said to me, I guess I should really buy your book. She goes, I don't normally read that kind of book. But she went ahead and she bought it. And afterwards she goes, well, it was okay. And she goes, I guess I should read your second book. And so she bought my second book. I'm thinking, I don't know why she's this isn't her genre. And it was interesting because then she bought the third one when it came out. And just last week,
you must have hooked her in.
She tells me, she goes, I really liked reading a series because you kind of get to move along with these characters and get to know them better. And so that just was a blessing to me. And she's shared them. She takes the books and she shares them with other people and stuff. So anyway, it's kind of hilarious. So